Can the Middle East change anymore from what it is right now? Can it? We have deployments happening, military deployments. We have internal issues happening within the USA and Germany right now. Well, something is happening within the UK that's developmental. That's developing. We're going to find out. And there is a deep, deep caution I'm going to have to give you guys about the sun. I know that most of you may have forgotten about the sun, right? It's pretty steady in its activities, but there have been events historically that are soon to repeat themselves. We're just not, it's one of those things we're going to have to survive. It will be one of a few events from the sun. And I certainly hope you guys are ready. Forget about the Carrington event. Forget about that. I'm gonna because the potential right now is gonna make the Carrington event look like a overnight power outage. Overnight power outage. Most people don't understand the Carrington event. Anyway, I know it's been dramatized in a big degree, but we're about to have some severe solar activity that is unrivaled. And there are cycles that are not taught dealing with the sun and solar cycles, right? But scientists, their estimations, I hope you guys know this, they've been wrong about this entire solar cycle. They've been wrong. They thought it would peak in 2025. Well, this solar cycle was near a peak a lot earlier than that. They thought it would not be as violent as it has been. That's been wrong too. We have been blessed to be in the position the way we are, away from some of the more explosive events of the sun. But all that's not going to matter here shortly, right? What it will do on a complete, within a complete radius. And so everything will be affected, right? Regardless of where we are. This drone issue, this whole conversation is, what's wrong with people? What's wrong with them? If they would take the handcuffs off of certain people, we could go and get one, right? Just go get the thing. Show people exactly what it is, regardless of what it is, and deal with it. Simple as that. Simple as that. But they won't do it. Now, I give you my estimation of things. You do realize people are frustrated, with the government, and so they're going to take matters into their own hands. They will. There are only, for those who have an understanding about tactical situations versus, big pranks versus other things. There's only one reason a government, without knowing what something is, would be fearful to knock it out of the sky. See, because here's the deal, guys. If an aircraft flew into New York City, had no transponder, they couldn't ID exactly what it is, would they just allow it to hit the city? We have a problem. I'm telling you this because we've talked about 9/11 mid-year and a few months ago. That same scenario will potentially happen again. Listen, it'll potentially happen again, right? Anyway, this would be good cover to hit a city. This would be good cover for something to come right into the country and obliterate tens of thousands of people, or not. In just about all cases, right? When anybody armed confronts a UFO, It will always anticipate the person's movements and intent. Always. That happened, that's been happening since the early from 1910 to this very day. If a person decides to shoot at it, whether it be an aircraft, military aircraft, whether it be ground forces, whatever the case is, they always take evasive action as though they know exactly what the person is doing. Where the Middle East, factions of the Middle East want to set us on fire. Where chemical weapons are real. Where biological weapons are real. And we know at some point weapons are going to be utilized. No one can escape that eventuality. It will affect everybody on earth. Everybody. And we know that biblically, that very thing is going to happen. Some people forget the carnage that will take place upon this earth. Some people forget about the day of the Lord. They forget what happens prior to it, and they forget what happens in it. A terrorist who would inject themselves with a deadly pathogen, right? All they have to do is get on a plane. That's it. No fever, no anything. Get on a plane. Everybody on that plane is going to be affected. That plane disembarks. Everybody they come in contact to is going to be affected. And before the symptoms show, one quarter of the populace of any nation would be dead. They've already caught people doing this. Certain activities, certain standard operating procedures that would stop all traffic going in and out of any of the states in the USA. Why? So they can lock a state down, so the damage will never go beyond that state. That's why. Because it was overwhelming. I'll tell you why. Because we have more vicious people in this country than you can imagine. And there's an estimate that at least of all those vicious people, 50% of them are still running around among the populace. They just have not acted fully yet. So that means you have people walking around with an appetite to murder. They haven't murdered yet. You have people walking around with an appetite to do these horrific things. They just have not done it yet. We have more messed up people in this nation than the world does. We do. Remember, they used to hang people and put them to death. What stopped that to a large degree was they found out that if somebody is truly evil and they're out doing these crimes, if you put that person to death, the same spirit or the same methods of killing people and torturing people and committing crimes is almost instantly found in somebody else. And so what they learned was to take people and attempt to lock them away so that spirit that's within them will not be released back into the world so it can do damage again. I'll tell you guys something. Because you're seeing part of something right now that's very difficult to understand. So I'll say this first. The whole world knows about the drones, don't they? It's one of those stories that seems to be a nuisance. Hear me. Soon, the same phenomena will be all over the earth. That's going to change people's minds. The same phenomena they're having a conversation about right now will be over the whole face of the earth. And wherever those things go, a consummation will begin to take place. Now you have something you can see. And when that happens, listen to me, they're going to normalize the thing. You can make a story like that. Suppose what people are actually saying is neither a drone nor anything they're used to saying. They can still normalize it. You know how? Simply by not answering the questions behind it. See, what you don't know is nuclear war almost started every single week for the last 3 months. Some people are so tired negotiating and talking. That's why I wanted people to watch Chernobyl. I did. You know, I read that same little miniseries that's out, right? I read that. I didn't see it. I read it, and it was quite accurate. But more specifically, it captured the response of the international community. It captured what a government is willing to do to continue to survive, and the pride that men carry, and where you really fit compared to man's pride. A few more of those shakers. We're about to go through a moment or two, guys. One quake, that's what we had in the past. That's the 7.4. For example, that's the 7.4, right? Watch the next 2 weeks. The sun is about to is about to do some things that we didn't suspect. And I'll say this, I personally do think, there have been some things that have happened on the earth in the last, 4 days that have been strange at best. And what it does is it gives you a deep look into the geological processes of the earth and how chaotic they really are right now. The earth has essentially become a powder keg. Volcanism is coming. You ever see those pictures where they show dinosaurs, right? They show volcano peaks all over the place, blowing up. That's our earth. That's what I'm talking about. What do you guys say? Do experiments on things all the time. There are certain things you can never escape as a human being living on the surface of this earth. And they are interested in surviving what's coming. That's why they make radioactive resistant vegetables. Right? That's why they fortified the grid system for specific types of radiation. Yes, they did. Right?